Hi everyone, and welcome to our first video lecture of our Project Innovation Management course. This is really an introductory session where I will go through the structure of the course and our Canvas website. Okay, so let me introduce myself once again. So my name is Ramel Nigmatulin. I sit in room 533 in School of Computing. So yeah, if you, I'm really happy to meet you. So if you are on campus, please come by, but send me an email first. Just a little bit about myself. I come from quantitative field, so I did my PhD in physics in Imperial College London. And then I worked as a researcher in a number of institutions in Oxford and Los Alamos and in Germany in the University of Ulm. And since 2016, I'm a lecturer here in the University of Sydney. My research interest is in modeling complex systems, which means constructing quantitative computer models for various systems such as population dynamics, urban dynamics, and also of course I do research in physics. In particular, I model quantum systems such as quantum computers. I'd like to get to know you as well, so you will be directed to a discussion board where you can write about yourself. In particular, I'd like to know who's studying full-time or part-time, who's doing which course, Bachelor of Project Management, Honors, Masters of Project Management, or Masters of Project Leadership, who is new to the program, who has industry experience. So I'd really like to know in which companies you work, and have you had already experience with innovative projects. Also, I'd like you to write what you are hoping to get out of this course. Now, of course, there are some things that I'd like you to get out of this course, but I'd be interested to know your expectations as well. So what would I like you to get out of this course? Well, foremost, I'd like you to obtain and develop the ability to critically analyze and evaluate approaches to the project management of innovation, in particular regarding various stages of innovation projects, the context and challenges of innovation projects, and best practices and structures and processes of organizations. So what can organizations do to support innovation, and how external relationships and networks can impact innovation. So the first two bullet points here, this will be covered in the first part of the course. Then the second part covers the structures and processes, and finally the third part covers the relationships and networks. So now I'd like to have a look at the unit of study outline, which can be accessed from CASP or through the Canvas website. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so here it is. So this document just gives you a bit more formal information about the course. So particularly it lists the assessments. So there will be no exam for this course. It's all coursework, and we'll have two assignments, which are each assignment 1 and assignment 2, and each of them have two components. Right. So the assignment 1 will be an individual assignment. It will consist of firstly a small literature review, and then a report, and then we have assignment 2, which is a group assignment. And also there will be some class participation marks, which has two components as well. So firstly, I will assess your participation in the discussion forums. That's 10% of the course. And there will be also, I will ask you to prepare some small video presentations, and I will give you more information in next week, I think. Okay. So there is some policy, we'll follow policy on late submissions, university-wide policy. So you'll have to submit your assignment electronically at 11:59. So just before midnight on the due date. And for every calendar day up to and including 10 calendar days after the due date, there's a penalty of 5% of the maximum awardable marks. Okay. So if you have legitimate reason for being late with your submissions, you have to let me know and apply for the late submission exemptions. Okay. Okay, so now study commitment. So I expect so I think it will be about 10-hour weekly workload, so about 4 hours to complete all of the video lectures, readings, and discussions, online discussions, and 6 hours for an independent study, which includes doing your working on your assignments. Okay, so teaching stuff. So I will be your lecturer, so you can email me. But you also have an online tutor who is Finn Connor, and yeah, he will be heavily involved in the discussion forums and could be is your first point of contact regarding any queries about the lecture material. Okay, so the course is largely based around this textbook, Managing Innovation, Integrating Technological Market and Organizational Change, by Joe Tate and John Bessant. So you will have to get access to this book, which you could either buy, or I think the online version I think is now available through the SciTech library. We'll also be using some chapters from this book, Democratizing Innovation, which is accessible online. Okay. I think that's about all that I wanted to say about this document. So let's come back to the presentation. Okay, so now let's have a look at the Canvas website. Okay, so here is the Canvas site. I'm on the home page here. You will see the list of recent announcements at the top here, and you can access all of the announcements by clicking the announcement page. All of the announcements will be you will be receiving in your email as well. So do check your USAID email to make sure you don't miss any important information. So now let's have a look at the module tab. Here you get some. Firstly, get some pages on the unit information pages. So the first one, unit of study outline. This is where you can obtain the links to the a unit of study guides. So, for instance, so the document that we just looked at, but also you can read the more detailed information by clicking here. So this is just gives you some extra information. In particular, you can you in particular it says the class times for the block mode class. So if you like, you're very welcome to attend the block mode classes, which will be covering the same material, but you can get more interaction with other students. They are completely optional, and I know a lot of you are working during these hours, but you're very welcome to come. So there will be 3 blocks, and each block is a whole day, 9 a.m. to 5 each 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. and the classes are held in a business school in the in the Sydney CBD, so Castle Ridge Street. And just to emphasize, the participation in block classes is completely optional. You will not get any extra marks for doing that. I will also run some virtual tutorial sessions. So this is basically like a conference call where we can discuss the material together. You can ask me questions, and in particular, I want to explain in more detail what I expect from the assignments, and we'll go through some exercises during these virtual tutorial sessions. Okay, so now so regarding the teaching team, your online tutor will be your first point of contact for questions about the content assessment and online activities. You can ask me, of course, as well, right? But for administrative questions such as enrollment and special considerations, etc., email me. Okay, so here you also have the list of due dates for your assignments. So all of the written assignments will be due on the Sunday, 23:59. Okay, so I think that's it. So here you get also the list of all of the readings that we will be doing. Assessment information resources. Here you can get specifications for the assignments. So you can read this or read this when before you start working on the assignment, of course. Yeah. Okay, so now finally the actual content. So because we're running this course in blended mode, so there is an online students and there are block students. We cover exactly the same material, but I separated this into 2 sections, just because it's easier to organize the material. So for you'll have to look at these folders here, modules here, and so if you look at week 1, for example, you have to go through all of the instructions, and which includes watching the video lectures, and doing some readings, and writing on the discussion forums. So you can just follow these links here, and then you write some text here. And you should aim to finish all of the activities in the discussion forums by Thursday midnight, so that we have there are several days before Sunday where students can reply and comment to the posts. Yeah, and so you to get the full participation marks, you will have to do that on time, essentially. Okay. So the online the blog students, of course, do the same activities, but they do it in class, in a kind of in a workshop setting. So for them, I just I shortened this module. So for instance, here they have some pre-work, which is just doing the readings, and just a list of exactly the same lectures as you will be watching. So they don't have any activities in the discussion forums because we just do this in class. Okay, so for you, the discussion folder is quite important because this is where you will be writing and interacting with your fellow classmates. So you can access the discussions from here, or I will of course put links to the actual discussion within the module pages. Then you have the assignment page. This is where you submit your assignment via the Turnitin. So for instance, here the first assignment, stage 1 literature review, is already active. So yeah, here you can submit your assignments. Okay, so I think that's it for the website. So let's come back here. Right, so here a bit more of information about the assessment. Okay, I think I already explained everything here. Okay. So I will be using Turnitin on all the assignments, so make sure you comply with the Turnitin and academic honesty policies. For group assignment, I will also be using peer evaluation academy, which is basically I'll ask you to complete a questionnaire where you rate your group members, and that modifies your grade slightly. Usually it doesn't, but if there is a problem within your group, it can have a significant impact on the grade. And I already mentioned about the extension and late submission policies. Okay, so the unit structure is as follows. So the first 4 weeks we will look at we'll first of all define what is innovative projects, and then we'll introduce the framework that we will use to analyze innovative project. And so this first part is really about managing. It's a project level. So how do you manage innovation projects? And the second part is more about the organization. So here we'll look at various organizational structures and processes that an organization can put in place to support innovation. And then finally we extend to 13. We look at networks and the role of governments and in national innovation systems. So assignment 1, it will assess really the first part of the course, Then assignment 2 assesses the second part of the course, and throughout you do the readings. Okay. Yes, I think. Okay, I think that's it. So I will keep you posted with the announcements.